Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday. I'm so glad to be back. I miss you all. I miss you all. But it's always a pleasure to open up a live stream and see each and every one of you here each and every time I hit the go live button. Welcome, guys, and happy Monday to each and every one of you. Tonight is not going to be a long night. We're not here for a long time, but we're going to make the best of the time that we do have here. Welcome to each and every one of you. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Moca. These are the NOLA Bells. Here we stand on truth. Here we're a voice for the voiceless. Here in Moca's house, everybody's somebody. There's no big I's. There's definitely no little U's. All opinions are welcome. And if you're here, please hit the like button for Moca. If you forgot to hit the like button, I understand, but you still have time to tiptoe on up out of here. Hit that like button and come back and grab your seat. Like I said, we're not here for a long time. Y'all saw the title and y'all saw the thumbnail. As a mandated reporter, why did Tiajuana Butts wait to speak up? Because before Ziyah went missing, she saw. Let's talk about it for a second. Tiajuana Butts, as we know, works in the school system. And if your job is literally built around protecting children, if the law says you're required to report abuse, neglect, or endangerment even, then help me understand something real slow, chat. Help me understand something real slow. Why didn't Tiajuana report seeing Ziyah in the company of Jarvis the first time she saw her? And let me be very clear. This has nothing to do with family loyalty. It's not even about her blood. This ain't about that's my brother. Because when somebody is certified for child endangerment and SA, the rules change, the gloves come off. I don't care whose child it is. I don't care if it's the neighbor's child. I don't care if it was his own child. And as we know, he had no regards for that either. A convicted and known assayer should never be alone with any child, period. There's no exceptions to the rule. There's no grace period. There's no, let me see how this plays out, Tiajuana. So being that you work for the schools, no matter what your position are, you are definitely a mandated reporter, ma'am. And you saw Ziyah. You saw Ziyah in the presence of your brother that you know has history. And my question to you tonight is, why did the report not happen then? Not later. Not after you was told by somebody. Ma'am, mandated to me does not mean delayed. It's not optional. And it should never be when it's convenient to you. Because in moments like this, silence means everything. I'm just asking a question tonight. Why wait? Why not make the call? And why did it take this moment, for you to realize, oh, my brother that made the news. Let me see what I could do. You had that opportunity before it even made the news. Because one thing I know is when a child comes up missing, every moment before that matters. And that's why tonight we had to take a revisit and look at everybody that Ziyah encountered before they said she was missing. And if the conversation here tonight, if it's on the verge of making somebody uncomfortable, I'm not mad at it. Because you have to be uncomfortable in the truth. Especially when the truth starts tapping you on the shoulder. So tonight, we're talking logic. We're talking responsibility. We're talking accountability. And let me tell you something. If the shoe don't fit, please don't lace it up. But if it does, lace that bitch up and do what you do. Walk with it. No labels, bows, cousins, and friends. Tonight we're going to talk about, could Ziyah had been saved if this mandated reporter did what needed to be done? And I'm sure we all have our theories. We all have our judgments. We all know what we saw when it came to Tiajuana Butts. Everybody thought it was different. But it does not change the fact that she saw this baby. Don't change that. So in the meantime, in between time, what we're going to do what Moca does best. I'm going to give you all a second to get yourself situated. Grab your drinks, grab your snacks, do whatever it is that you all do. Speak to your neighbors. And if you forgot that, hit that like button. Now is your time. Hit that like button, get comfortable. Because tonight we have questions. We have questions. So give me a minute. Do what you all do. And while I'm gone in that minute, guys, I dropped a pinned comment. And I would love for you all to engage in that pinned comment. And once we return, we're going to get deep into this and do what we do. Take your time with it. Because we don't rush things here. We talk it through. And we want to understand why Tiajuana Butts waited. I'll be back in 1 minute, guys.
Welcome to Moca, no labels. Hit that like button, you might break the scale. If you can't join the membership, still ride for free, $99. Yeah, we lit in here. Comments popping, energy rocking, we all shine. We have a stay. We have a stay. Turn it up, we in the South with style and grace. Mocha got 'em talking, can't nobody take a place. Nah, from the bayou to the block, we drop truth, not tea. You ain't gotta pay the vibe, hit that like for free. Every panel on fire, every topic gon' trend. If you ain't a member yet, you still a friend, amen. Got love for the real, was no time for the mess. We keep it authentic, that's no labels at its best. Welcome to Moca, no love bells, where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. Welcome to Moca, no love bells, where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. It's Mocha and the crew, we the talk of the streets. Bring the real back to YouTube, no scripts, no beats. We laugh, we drag, we educate too. All the bells in the chat know how we do. So tap in, lean back, sip your drink real slow. Let the haters keep watching, we steal the show. From Mocha to Nola, we hold it down steady. Platinum plus approved, that girl stay ready. Welcome to Mocha, na na bells. Welcome to Mocha, na na bells. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells, where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells, where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. From the panel to the people, it's pure real talk. She ain't following a trend, she lead her own walk. No cameras, my mic check with no lights on blast, but every episode hit like first class. We ain't gossiping, we testifying, keep it bold. Every story got a lesson that need to be told. So hit that bell, join the ride in style. Welcome to Mocha, stick around for a while. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells, where the bells ring truth and the chat stay lit. Like, comment, subscribe, don't quit. If you can't join the membership, free $99. Still with it. We outside. We outside.
All right, guys, we are back. We are back. We are back. I see y'all. I see y'all. But before we go any further, let me do this the right way. Welcome each and every one of you and happy Monday. Happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday to everyone that's tapped in, locked in, sitting with me tonight. If you're here, welcome. And if you just slid in here, you're right on time. I see the chat. I see y'all moving. I see those emojis popping, and the energy here is flowing. I love it. I love it. Go on, keep them emojis jumping. Tap them, flood them. Let YouTube know this room is alive tonight, and we are back. I appreciate everyone that has hit that like button thus far. Everyone that has shared it out. I appreciate you all. Make sure you guys are comfortable, because tonight we're going to ask some questions. But before I get into the commentary, let me get this disclaimer out of the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use. For purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. We've gotten that out of the way, guys. We've gotten that out of the way, and I'm so grateful for it. So grateful for it. And now, we're going to do what we do here. As the title and thumbnail read, as a mandated reporter, why did Tiajuana Butts wait to speak up? Because before Ziyah went missing, she saw. She saw. Jarvis Butts' sister, Tiajuana. If you didn't know, now you know. She works for Detroit Public Schools. Let that sink in, y'all. She works for Detroit's public schools. One thing that I know is when you work in the school system, you're not just an employee. That's where you become a part of a protective system for children. And that means no matter what department you work in, what role you play, Tiajuana Butts was classified as a mandated reporter by law. And being a mandated reporter, it does not mean you can only be a mandated reporter when it's convenient for you. You can't refuse to be a mandated reporter because you feel like it's going to cause family problems. Being a mandated reporter means the law has already spoken, ma'am. It didn't turn off because it was your brother. And it didn't turn off because you were off the clock. No. That shit don't turn off because it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, a cookout, or even a goddamn Tuesday. It don't turn off like that. And it damn sure don't turn off when the person involved is a known pedo. I don't care whose child it is. I don't care if it's the neighbor's baby. I don't care. You know Tiajuana and I know. Your brother should have never been left alone with no child, not even his own. That's not an opinion. That is common sense. And chat, maybe y'all could help me with this one. Let's walk through it. Because my thing is, if Tiajuana saw Ziyah in the presence of Jarvis, knowing what you know, Tiajuana, knowing what he is, Tiajuana, what part of that didn't trigger in you saying, hey, while she's still jumping around in and out of his car, while I still have my eye on her, what part of that didn't trigger you to make a call? Because Tiajuana, this ain't hindsight, ma'am. This is about then. This is about that moment. This is about the choice that you made. And sometimes choices like that causes a child everything. Everything. How many of you all believe in this chat that mandated reporters should report immediately, no matter who it is? And if you feel that mandated reporters should report immediately, no matter who they're reporting, drop some sirens in this chat. But if you're on the fence and you believe that being a mandated reporter would only complicate things if you're reporting your family, drop ice in the chat. I see y'all. I see y'all. Because there are no exceptions to this rule. Not one. Not one. Because this conversation is going to always be for accountability, and she has to be held accountable. We have seen her in different lights. Everybody looked at her differently. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And when I sit up here and I talk about Ziyah being failed, I can't tiptoe around certain people. Because if we want to be politically correct, and if we want to be fair, we have to also say that Tiajuana Butts failed Ziyah as well. Tony says, Moca, we're going to take this one way back from when we were growing up. Why didn't she ask Ziyah, why is she hanging around the auto body shop? And where's her mom at? Tony, absolutely. Absolutely. And if she felt a certain type of way, Tony, and didn't want to ask that baby that question, she should have picked up the phone. That was an opportunity to pick up the phone and make that phone call. No matter how uncomfortable it would have been. And if you think about it, she had all power in her hands at that very moment. At that very moment. Welcome to each and every one of you that has just entered the chat. Happy Monday, my guys. Happy Monday. Tony says, if I was at the shop, I would have asked her, what are you doing up here hanging out with these men? And where's your mom at? And why do you keep jumping in and out of that truck? That was a telltale sign. We have to make it make sense. A girl, Marty, says, didn't she say she only saw the girl from the back walking into the garage when she needed the bathroom? She says she went confront King if that was his niece, allegedly. That's what she said, but we're going to get into that. I want y'all to stay with me because together we're going to walk through this. Because one thing we know for certain is that, thank you for supporting the channel, Rob. One thing we know for certain is that Tiajuana knew Jarvis' history. We're not going to dance around that part. We're not going to dance around the part that she knew Jarvis's history. These are not rumors. These are not whispers. His history was real and she knew it. Tiajuana knew well enough. She knew Jarvis's history enough to say out of her own mouth that she never wanted him around her children. Let that sit with you for a moment. She never wanted him around hers. But it was okay for him to be in the presence of a child that belonged to someone else. When she said she didn't want him around hers, that one statement alone told me everything I needed to know about Tiajuana Butts. Because my thing is, if you felt strongly enough to protect your children, if you felt strongly enough to draw a line for your household, Tiajuana, tell me one thing that makes me understand it better. But I could tell you a thing or two that makes me see it real clear, Tiajuana. You understood the risk. You understood the risk of children being around your brother unprotected. You didn't need nobody to convince you nor remind you. You didn't need any more information because Tiajuana, you knew. You knew. So help me understand something. If you knew he was dangerous enough to keep away from your own, why was that same urgency not applied when it came to Ziyah? Because once again, I'm going to keep asking this until it sinks in somewhere. It does not matter whose child it was. A child is a child. Risk is a risk. And danger don't check family trees. You know that. You cannot sit up here, Tiajuana, and say you knew he was a problem. You cannot sit here and say you knew he was a problem and then act surprised when you're questioned as to why you didn't speak when you should have. You can't say, I protected mine, and then shrug your shoulders when another child is left exposed at his hands. Because knowing and still not doing a damn thing about it, Tiajuana, that hits different. That's more than ignorance. Being ignorant will tells the world, I didn't see it. But when you know what you know and you verified what you knew, that says I saw it and didn't want to react. Sheena says she knows who her brother is, what he's done. There's no way she's seen baby girl getting in and out of that truck and didn't confront her as she should have. She's full of shit. Absolutely she is. Absolutely she is. And let me tell you, a lot of people gave her grace. A lot of people gave her grace. At least she did the right thing. That was a little too late. A lot of people gave her grace. She was crying on the stand because she was hurt. Do y'all really believe that? Because my take on that is a little different. Knowing that through her employment, she was mandated to report. It's a possibility now, the more I look at it. It's a possibility that those tears weren't just for her brother. Those tears were also because she failed to report. And in the real world, her job would have been at stake. But then we're dealing with Detroit, where we're seeing in real time that things happen. Children are at risk and nothing happens. So what were the tears really for? Marty says, why, when Shannon rang her, she didn't ask questions? Why not go to the police with her questions and suspicions? Or did she know before the fact and after the fact what her brother was capable of allegedly? Marty, my thing is this: she wouldn't have had a chance to call the police. I mean, she wouldn't have had a chance to call Shannon. Because if she stood on business and if she really cared about children, Shannon would have been the last person she called. The only reason she made the phone call was because he was exposed publicly this time. We got to think of all of that, put all of that into perspective. Do y'all think Tiajuana knew the risk and understood the danger. Because all children deserve the same protection. All children. Tony says Mocha, and she probably saw Ziyah before. Because she's the auntie of Shannon's children. And Ziyah was probably around when the nieces and nephews were around her, in my opinion. I'm just saying, Tony, you're absolutely correct. Because, Tony, what I don't believe is that Shannon has all these children for Jarvis. She is going to sit up here and tell us she didn't know Ziyah or who she was. That's hard to believe, especially when Ziyah has been with Shannon since she was 2 years old. You can't sit here and pretend to be the victim in one instance, or pretend you didn't know in one instance. And on the other hand, everything that's logically correct and makes sense lets us know that you too weren't truthful. Miss Jackson, I see you, my love. Welcome. Cornell, happy Monday, love. Rock said, absolutely. Concerns should be raised. Why is anyone turning a blind eye to children being harmed? Absolutely, Rock. She don't get a pass. She don't get a pass. There's no damn way. Because that makes no sense. Because Jarvis said, and we knew he lied on that one, when he said when he pick up Janiyah, he would pick up Ziyah. But we know that Ziyah and Janiyah would do everything together. So how is it that you knew Janiyah, but you didn't know Ziyah? I don't agree with the lie that you told, ma'am. Sabrina says she knew that wasn't King's brother. Tanya said it explains why she was shook on that stand. The whole story about seeing her at the shop. Absolutely, Tanya. Absolutely. And all their lives are trickling out one at a time. Lady D said, I believe if she never seen Ziyah before, she believes that she was King's niece. And that she may have felt like since King was there and everything was okay, that's just my opinion. But Lady D, we have to be morally and ethically looking at this through clean lens, right? Let's just say, for instance, even if Ziyah was truly King's niece, right? If I'm wrong, or you all don't agree, I need y'all to pull me back, throw in what you all feel. Mocha, shut up, because you're wrong as two left shoes. But my thing is this. Even if Ziyah was King's niece, let's look at it that way. Lotus, I see you, my love. Welcome, boo. Happy Monday. Even if Ziyah was supposedly King's niece in that moment, she still had an obligation ethically and morally to report her brother. even if she was king's niece, simply because her brother had no reason, no right, no rhyme to be around children. And my thing is, why would she go whisper to king, asking king who Ziyah was? That was your brother. I think she went to king for confirmation. But it was Jarvis that told her that Ziyah was king's niece. My thing is, with her own eyes, she personally observed Ziyah running around that shop. She saw it. I mean, Ziyah running around that shop, not a little girl, not an employee, not a co-worker of the shop. This child, the baby, in a grown man's space. You saw her there in that shop. You observe her running in and out of that truck. You observe her going to the store. So you knew his history. You knew the risk. And then you didn't want him around your own children. So when you see a little girl like Ziyah moving freely in and out of a known, of the space of a known petal, that's alarming. That's alarming. Because my thing is, when you see something with your own eye, you don't get to say, I didn't know. You don't get to say maybe, or I wasn't there, or I didn't see it all. When you know the danger, you saw the exposure and you didn't report it, that's a decision you made, Tiajuana. And sometimes the most damaging decisions are the ones where nothing is said and children become lost to the system. Chat right now, I need your honest opinion. Do you all believe Tiajuana Butts seeing this with our own eyes? Do you all truly believe that that created a responsibility that she should have borne? If you believe that by her seeing it, she created responsibility, drop some eyes in the chat. There's my personal belief on that. A personal belief on that is that she had all rights. She had the power in her hands, and she failed the mission. Ms. Jackson said there's no way Tiajuana didn't see or know who Ziyah was in the car or at the gas station. Absolutely, Ms. Jackson. Absolutely. Levesque, she turned a blind eye. She knew something wasn't right. That's why she started asking questions. Absolutely. But it was a little too late. That's the point I'm making, Rob. She should have reported it each and every time she saw her brother, even if it was in a gas station, even if it was at the store. You knew children frequented there. So why sit on it? Tony says, I don't care who child it is. I'm going to ask, where's your parents at? Your mom or dad, so I can speak with them, because this isn't a place for you to be hanging out with these men. Absolutely. And that's the part nobody wants to see. Cynthia, thank you for being a member for 3 months, my love. Spicy, I see you, boo. Miss Jackson says King should have made a call when he asked Jarvis, Is he taking the Ziyah home? Absolutely, because it's documented. King did say he asked Jarvis when were they taking her home. This story has been trying to clean itself up from the beginning of time. And if it's left up to me, it's going to stay muddy because I'm going to ask questions. My thing is this, Tiajuana. I don't care how calmly it was said. I don't care how casual it may have sounded, whether it came with a smile on his face or whatever. Ma'am, Jarvis telling you that that was King's niece. Imagine that. That type of explanation from a known pedo, that is not your green light, ma'am, to turn a blind eye. At that moment, it's not that we were asking you to play detective. You're not a judge, you're not the jury. All we wanted you to do, all you should have done was reported the suspicions of it. For the folks that's in the back, sitting in those bushes and don't understand, let me say this for you slow ones. Being a mandated reporter, do not accept explanations. So there's nothing Jarvis could have said that have made me feel different. Being a mandated reporter, you report concerns. So when somebody like Jarvis says, oh, that's such and such niece or such and such's child, ma'am, that don't remove your responsibility. It don't. My biggest thing is, why the hell would you take his word knowing you have a history? You didn't trust yours around it. So why all of a sudden the explanation that Jarvis gave you was enough? And ma'am, that's not how being a mandated reporter works. That's not how child safety works. And it's damn sure not how accountability works. Child safety does not hinge on whether or not an adult story sounds good. Y'all have allowed this baby to bear adult burdens for entirely too long. And in my humble opinion, y'all all played in our face. Marty said so many of them family members didn't want their kids around, but they turned a blind eye when he was around the Ziyah, calling themselves mothers. I call y'all hypocrites. It's okay so long as it's not yours, eh? Absolutely, Marty. Absolutely. Tanya said she was crying because she didn't report it. Her ass was in a hot seat. Absolutely, I believe that. Star, I see you, niece. Sheena says, Moca, she sat on that stand and counted all Jarvis' children. She knew exactly who Ziyah was, and she did. Spicy says, we as women are nosy by nature. You can't tell me she didn't look in her face, and if she was pregnant, wasn't able to tell she was pregnant. I don't believe her. I don't either. Nothing none of them says. Nothing. So let me finish. Let me finish. Because this is insane. Insane. Because my thing is the moment Tiajuana Butts saw Ziyah, in close range and being in the presence of a man with the past like Jarvis, you allowed it. You allowed. The moment you saw Ziyah, ma'am, you should have reported it. Not later, not eventually. Right then and there, it should have happened. And now all of a sudden, Ziyah is being declared missing. None of that mattered to you, Tiajuana, until Jarvis' name got mentioned. Because you see, that's where the timing tells the story. If duty only advocates. Sakina, I see you, boo. Welcome. If duty of being a mandated reporter, if that only activates when the spotlight comes on, that's damage control, Tiajuana. Because one thing I know for certain is that mandated reporters does not wait for a confirmation. It don't wait for tragedy to start, and it don't wait for headlines. Because being a mandated reporter and being just somebody that cares, seeing things like that, it triggers a risk. It should have been repeated that moment, not after the discussion. Because once again, this wasn't about what if. This was about was. And every delay after the moment that you did not report, Tiajuana, every pause, every wait to let me see, the clock was still ticking on Ziyah's safety. And when a child ends up missing, such as Ziyah, the loudest question is always the heaviest. Who saw something and didn't say a damn thing? That child has been through hell and back. Y'all are okay with it. Because now I'm not talking about what was known. I'm talking about what Tiajuana saw when she saw it. If she was that concerned to speak once Ziyah was missing, why wasn't she that concerned the day she saw her in that truck? Because being concerned after Ziyah is declared a runaway, that don't protect a child. You got to do better. You could protect yours, but Ziyah didn't matter. Ma'am, if you didn't know, mandated reporters exist for a reason. And if you were taught correctly, you should know that reporting something, no matter how small it is, it interrupts the harm before it escalates, before it becomes a headline, before a search party is involved, and before press conferences and a GoFundMe. I'm sick of adults making excuses as to why they did X, Y, and Z. And it appears to me that this shit is being delayed deliberately. Deliberately. And this, like I said earlier, is not about hindsight. Children missing, exploited, traumatized, gone. Ma'am, you failed, Ziyah. Because again, I'm going to say, if somebody is dangerous enough to be kept away from your own children, they're dangerous enough to be reported when my child is around them for sure. Spicy says, I believe the only reason you told me she told that she went into that gas station the same time Ziyah did is because she didn't know if they had cameras or not. I could believe that. I could believe that. Hey, Queen B, she said she wouldn't be getting in and out of Jarvis' truck. Absolutely. Spicy says, even if she believed it was King's niece, why was she in Jarvis's truck? That's the question. Why Jarvis' truck if you're going to accept that she was King's niece? It's the lies for me. Stora says she knew that was her niece and nephew's cousin. She saw her before. No way in the hell she didn't know who she was. That part. That part. Hey, PJ, I see you, boo. Tony says, I didn't know she worked at the school. I'm not giving them grace, and they failed Ziyah and Jarvis Butts and King playing games, saying that Jarvis Butts' niece and that was Cordell's niece. Either way, they're both lying. Yes, ma'am. They lied, and she knew. Hey, Miss Teresa, welcome. Miss Teresa said, if that's my brother, I would have followed her to the gas station. I would have asked her, who was she? I would have made it my business. She didn't want to know of her. Absolutely. Absolutely. She needed to be checked. And not in a good damn way. I see them eyes up in his chat, y'all. Miss Jackson said a sister-in-law in Ypsilanti didn't question why a pregnant girl was with him. Nope, absolutely not. This is some shady shit. Miss Jackson said that son's aunt said they left her house in a truck. King said he drove his 300. Hell, didn't Ziyah drive the Jag? What the fuck is really going on? DPD, y'all had to see no one story match. Miss Jackson, that part. Because if you're going to tell a story, tell a story. If you're going to put it out there, put it out there. But don't deliver certain parts of it to either take you out of the equation or to make you look good. Too late for making you look good. Marty says a school staff member, a mother, a woman, she should have asked the child who she was, why she was in that shop, when she followed her into the garage, or was it a case of none of my business? Absolutely, Marty. Certain things we can't just say it's not our business and walk away from it. Queen B said, I would have asked if that's his niece. Why is she in and out of your truck? Absolutely. We see this shit in real time. Sheena says another thing would come to mind is, why is a child outside that time of night on a school night? Who child is that? Would have been my question. That's a hell of a damn question. That's a hell of a question. And it makes sense. Ms. Jackson says King and Jarvis was throwing peen all over Detroit. Who wasn't they double dating with? Absolutely. I said it. Sakina said, Mocha, you really get down with the content. Girl, you could talk about a box of crayon and make it entertaining and interesting. Honey, love it. Thank you, boo. Thank you. Baby, I'm holding on today. I'm barely here. My voice is gone. My headache is still there. It was a rough 2 days, but I survived. April says, the gas station was very small. How can you not see her face? That part, April, and I'm still wondering. I'm still waiting on an answer as to how she didn't see that child in that tight ass gas station. Marty said he knew Frank the Skanko in that shop. And what Jarvis what Jarvis was, did nobody question why Frank, a so-called family man, had a known essay working in his shop allegedly. Because that's all the people he could get work to him because he's a pedo too. Tony says her motherly instinct should have kicked in because she knows that her brother's a pedo for children. And Ziyah was jumping in, yes, right, jumping in and out of the truck. Marty says, in my opinion, when it comes to certain children, people are seen and blind and hearing and deaf. Oh, Lord. Justice for Ziyah all day long. Kitty, I see you, boo. Absolutely, Big Mama, no matter what. Hey, Nakisha, welcome to the chat, my love. No matter what, you are supposed to report. No matter what. This is disheartening. There's no way Ziyah or no other child should have been subjected to anything like this. And my thing is this lady had the galls to say, not my child. I don't ever want him around mine. But yet it's okay for Ziyah to be at risk. It's okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. Tony says, Nakisha, I see you, boo. Welcome. Happy Monday. Tony said all the women that came in contact with Ziyah failed that child. I wonder if the grandmother of Cordell's son, I wonder if she's one of the witnesses. I don't know. I don't know. My thing is, to hell with all the witnesses, right? To hell with all the witnesses, because what about those, like you just mentioned, Tony? What about all those that were in proximity of Ziyah hours prior to the day she was declared a runaway? They have to be held accountable. Butterfly Empress, welcome, my love. Happy Monday. It's been a minute. PJ said, Mocha, that's the part, PJ. Why did she call lying ass Shannon to get the detective number? Isn't that suspect? You saw it. Mandated reporter, you saw it. So now the question is, like I said earlier, you wait to report your brother once you knew he had made headlines in the news. But this is where I'm confused, like what PJ just said. If he's headline in the news, you claim you don't know Ziyah, who lived with Jarvis and Shannon. Why would your first instinct be to call Shannon for the detective's number versus just calling altogether? Why include Shannon in that? Why? So what did you really know? Because you knew something. You knew a lot more than what you displayed, because why call Shannon? What prompted you to call Shannon? I don't trust a soul. I don't trust the stories they told, because in Moca's opinion, they're all lying. Each and every one of them. They're lying. And why are you lying? What and who are you protecting? Because that bothers me. Sheena says, Moca, the sister is lying. It was on the news. She didn't have to call Shannon for the number. The guilt was eating her ass up, that part. Because my question is, why call Shannon? For what? What could Shannon have done for you? That's the bullshit. That's what makes everybody look at you all crazy, because now you all had a role to play. All of y'all played a part. Now I'm beginning to ask myself, is this shit scripted? Is it rehearsed? Are they playing in our face? Because Tiajuana Butts, baby, if you were really that serious, crying on the stand would have never occurred. But you knew why you were teary-eyed. I believe you do believe. I do believe that you thought you was going to be tripped up into something, trapped into something. Those were why the premature tears were there. Because as a mandated reporter, ma'am, you failed her. You failed her. Spicy says, if Shannon is getting complete immunity, as Roxy claims, will Shannon tell if she and Tijuana talk more about than what is being said? Maybe she'll tell that. Let me tell you, a lot more is going to come out than we know. It's too many people fighting extra hard to protect themselves when nobody stepped in to protect Ziyah. Tony, I'm with you. PJ, I'm with you. For her to call Shannon. Say like Tony, that meant Shannon funky ass knew that Ziyah was at that shop. Since the sister called her. You see how the lies come out? But we're not supposed to pay attention to this. Hey, Wanda said everything, like everybody that part, they all protected by Kim Worthless ass because of Diddy's name, then came out, and fucking Jarvis coming out with that. Oh, absolutely. Levesque, you're right. If she knew Shannon, she knew Ziyah. Tijuana, if you didn't know, now you know. Being a mandated reporter, ma'am, it don't come where you pick and choose what to report. It's not about options. It's not about loyalty to family. It's not about who to love or who you're related to. It's about who needed protection the most. And Ziyah did. And as a grown ass woman and a mother, you failed her too. Tijuana, if you knew enough to protect your own children, you knew enough to protect Ziyah. And again, I'm going to say, if anybody's uncomfortable, that discomfort ain't mine, it's yours. It ain't mine to fix. Because the hardest truths are the ones that should have been acted on before Ziyah went missing. I want you all to understand, I don't say the things that I say for likes. I don't say these type of things for clicks. I say these things because children don't get to have their name stained before they get a chance. Children don't get a chance to do do-overs. Especially when the adult is turning a blind eye. This is crazy. PJ said, Mocha, they're all suspect in my eyes. I stand on that. I will not fold. They would have to prove me wrong. Ziyah will get justice. And you know, PJ, that's why I stand in the energy that I'm in. They would just have to prove me wrong. They would just have to prove me wrong. Because just like Shannon, she lied. And ain't nobody getting a free pass on the lies that they tell. Welcome to the chat, Jerry. All these children deserve so much more. All of them. And we're going to dissect them one by one. Because Shannon and Annette ain't shit, but we do know they lied. But they ain't the only ones that told all those lies. And I don't mind asking the hard questions. I don't mind bringing them to the front of the class, especially when you don't sit up there and hurt a child. I will never sit here and to take Ziyah's pain and use it in ways where it don't matter. I would never. Ziyah is about to expose a lot of them. Not just those that claim to be related to her, should I say. Because one thing I know, right now where we sit, and everything that that child has been through that we've uncovered, Ziyah deserves so much more. So much more. And they all failed her. Wanda says, so they're all trying to put their head back together because Ziyah is coming to court. They don't know where she's at or when she left the church and school, nor the police. It's sad. It's sad. But I didn't come on to stay out all night long, guys. Because as y'all hear, the voice ain't all the way there. I'm still trying to recover from a weekend, and it was a weekend, I tell you. But I just noticed people like Tiajuana, everybody giving her a pass with at least she did the right thing. No, she didn't do the right thing. She did not. Jerry, thank you, my love. Because of YouTube, Nazaya will get better representation. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Jerry. Nazaya needs to be honored in beautiful light. I will never, never, no matter what the subject is surrounding his baby, I will never dehumanize her. Never. Because whether we want to admit it, yes or no, Nazaya was somebody's child. She wasn't blessed to be in the same, to be in a healthy, loving environment. And that same environment that failed that baby is the very same environment that's going to walk to the front of this class. That same environment will. That's why I chose to bring Tiajuana Butts to the front of the class, because I don't give a damn no matter what nobody says. Tiajuana Butts, along with that mama, that auntie, the grandmother and the auntie in Ypsilanti, they were the last three people to see Nazaya with Jarvis and King. Grown-ass men with a 13-year-old, and they none picked up the phone and made a call. None of them. And they have to be made accountable. They have to be. Lady D says we need to start a petition so the Attorney General can arrest Annette, Shannon, and Marquita. Lady D, hang on to your hat, girl. Hang on to your hat. Because the way this is unfolded, arrests will be made. Arrests will be made. Nazaya did not deserve this. That baby's name has been tossed out here like a bag of used condoms. And why? She didn't put herself in that situation. That baby is the product of her environment. But I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat shit. It needs to be noticed. It needs to be said. Because what Moca's not going to do, I'm not going to call out one and forget the rest didn't exist. I'm not going to do it. Tiajuana Butts, sister girl, you played a part in the worst way. You saw her and you did nothing about it. So how do you go on with your daily life, ma'am, knowing you saw this child and you did absolutely nothing? And I believe and that's just my opinion, I believe the only reason you never said nothing is because your hands ain't clean either. That's my opinion. He's been doing this shit for years, and you knew. You knew. Y'all know I've been gone a couple of days. And like I said, I'm going to slow walk these characters. Whatever you all feel may have transpired in these last couple of days that I was gone, child, drop that shit in my email, and we're going to talk about it. But like I said, I wasn't here tonight for a long time. I came out here, I said what I said, I did what I did. And we covered some ground. Tony says, I hope that Cardell's son's grandma is a witness. since Naziah was in our house and she didn't question her about being with Jarvis and Cordell. That was very strange. Absolutely. Absolutely. But guys, I appreciate you all sitting in this space with me tonight, rocking with me. We didn't stay out as long as we normally do, but that's understandable too. But we're going to be back tomorrow. Another character in the fire. Hopefully Mocha's voice back at 100. And at some point, just maybe, God is going to tap Mocha on the shoulder and give her a clearer understanding of the people that we're dealing with. Everybody got something to hide. And in a situation like this, concerning a missing 13-year-old, that speaks volumes. When you make everything about yourself and none about this baby. But guys, I'm going to stop it right here. You all know I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Because if it was no y'all, it would be no me. And I'm forever grateful. I'm going to get up out of here. If you've not yet hit that like button, please do so for your girl. Share out the live. And keep those comments coming. Because every time you comment, you all open up new cans of worms. And those are those closed doors that we need to kick through. Tony says, Mocha, go get some rest and relax. Stay hydrated and warm. Girl, I'm trying. Girl, I'm trying. I am trying. I appreciate the love and the concern, guys. Thank you, PJ. PJ says, Mocha, I love and appreciate you so much because real recognizes real. Amen, PJ. I don't have time for the shenanigans. I don't have time for the foolery, y'all. Every child matters. Every child matters. And one thing, I'm going to say it over and over again. One thing Mocha will not do. If something comes across my screen and it seems like it's dehumanizing Ziyah, Mocha won't ever utter a word on it. Mocha will never repeat that because that's not who I am. This child deserves grace. She deserves to respectfully be found no matter where she is. But all that other hoorah, the lies, the exploitation, that won't make Ziyah return. But we're going to get out of here, guys. And I would really appreciate it if tonight we flood the chat. Candles, broken hearts, something for Ziyah. I love each and every one of you. I want to thank you all for pouring into the channel, supporting the channel. You have not yet grabbed a membership, please do so. You look green, look good in green over here. And until next time, which will be tomorrow, I will see you all then. And I'm going to say God bless you all. I'm going to say good night. And I'm going to say always remember, over here we are family. I see the candles. I see the love. I see the hearts. Thank you, guys.
We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. No. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and caring, everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. team full of truth and a chat full of cheer. Mocha in the seat, steady steering the ship. Every topic got depth, every comment got grip. We don't tear folks down, we just build them up. If you're moving off love, then you one of us. Know the pride in the room and the vibe so loud. Every bell in the check gon' rep that crowd. We stand tall, we rise as one. Know the bells, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. Down in the NOLA where the soul don't break. Mocha built the lane where the real ones stay. Ain't no faking the funk, ain't no playing for clout. You bring that mess, we gon' sort that out. But this ain't about drama, it's about love, it's about healing, it's about trust. Every child, every voice, every name in the breeze. We gon' stand for the ones no one else gon' see. So we rise tall, we rise as one. Oh no, no bells, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. One mic, one tribe, one mission in mind. We protect what's right and we hold that line. It's the chat where the truth and the love collide. Where the voices don't hide and the pain gets light. We see you, we feel you, we fight for the cause. Every kid, every tear, we break down walls. When you hear that bell, that's the call to act. We family now, and that's just facts. We stand tall, we rise as one. Know the bells, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This one's for every voice we fight for and every child who needs to be heard. We see you, we feel you. We stand with the truth. This is the NOLA Bells. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Stand tall. Join the family.
Good night, everyone. God bless.